Rabbi Shlomo Karlebach tells the story of the Chernivtsi Rav. The story took place about 250 years ago. There was a young man named Moshe David. Unfortunately, his family suffered immensely, that they didn't have any funds, they didn't have any finances. Eventually, he spoke to his wife and he said, "Listen, I know we're in a tough situation, but I've done the calculations. And if we save for 3 years, we can accumulate about 500 ruble. And if we do that, well, we can buy a farm. And if we buy a farm, then we can have a way to make sustenance for ourselves." So his wife agreed, and for the next 3 years, they saved everything. They barely ate. Finally, after 3 years, they had the 500 ruble. Moshe David made his way to Chernovitz, and as it was getting close to Shabbos, he went to the Rav, the Chernovitzer Rebbe, and he said, "Please, Rav, I can't hold on to money over Shabbos. Will you please safeguard it for me?" The Rebbe said, "Of course, no problem." He told him how he had worked so hard, how this was literally his own children's suffering was in this money. The Rebbe said, "I'll guard it like you can't believe. But where are you eating? Where are you staying for Shabbos?" He says, "I don't know, I just got to town. This is the first place I came." The Rebbe said, "Fine, please be my guest." Mamash, about an hour before Shabbos, all of a sudden a woman shows up and she breaks down in tears in front of the Rebbe with Moshe David right there. And she says, "Rebbe, you knew my husband. Unfortunately, my husband, he's passed away now months. And, we thought that my husband had money, but it turns out he doesn't. He never did. And we had agreed to marry off my daughter to this family, and this groom is already ready, and this coming week we're supposed to meet with them, and now all of a sudden I realize we don't have anything." And she's crying and crying and crying. And Moshe David just can't. And he goes over the Rebbe and he says, "Rebbe, please give her my 500 ruble." The Rebbe said, "What are you talking about? This is your life saving. This is 3 years saving. You've put everything into your children's suffering." He says, "It doesn't matter. Please, here." He takes the money and he gives it to the woman. And she can't believe it. After the woman leaves, the Chernovitzer Rav looks at him. He says, "Moshe David, I don't even have words." And he says, "Hashem should bless you that you should have more parnasa, more money than you know what to do with. But I want to give you an even more special blessing than that." Can you imagine what kind of Shabbos this woman would have had? What kind of Shabbos her daughter, who was supposed to be married, would have had? You saved their Shabbos. And with that, I want to bless you that you should experience Shabbos, that you should have real Shabbos. It didn't take long. Within 4 weeks, the blessing of the Rebbe manifested, and Moshe David was a millionaire. And immediately he took the money and he went and he built a Beit Midrash, a study hall in Chernovitz. And it was called Moshe David's Study Hall, Beis Midrash. And this Beis Midrash was there until the Nazis would come and Europe would be overturned. And somehow, Moshe David's grandchildren survived, and they made their way to America with nothing in their pockets. And within a month, they already were wealthy beyond belief. The Rebbe's blessing was still reverberating through that family. And why? Because the Shabbos of someone else, he saved. And as a result, all the floodgates of Shemayim, of the heavens, opened up for him. May we all merit to give someone a Shabbos.